Everybody, it's Felisa, and today is going to be another entry into Transformation Tuesday. So, when we last left off, I was telling y'all that I am done with potions, lotions. Well, not lotions because I don't want to be ashy, but I decided that good old fashioned diet and exercise was going to be the ticket for me. Now, I still feel that way. And I wanted to come and do this follow up because I think it's important to continue to document my own health journey, help you along your way, hopefully offer some motivation and some encouragement. And so I'm going to continue to do this series. I don't know that I will do it weekly because clearly I have not. But I do want to check in with you guys because I have gotten questions on some of my older vlogs. And I guess people just don't realize that I have done updates to every last product that I did try and gave you my honest feedback and my opinion. So I did an update for Golo. I did finish the Golo. I lost about, at the end of it all, about 15 pounds. I can't tell you with 100% certainty that Golo was the reason for it. The diet in and of itself, or I should say lifestyle moderation, was somewhat restrictive, but you get accustomed to eating that way. And for me, it was very compatible with Atkins and low carb and how I had already trained myself to eat years ago when I lost a ton of weight. So that's one of the reasons why I decided that I was going to continue to move forward with low carb, and just do that because I understand how to cook that. I understand how to order that if I'm out at a restaurant. I understand how to modify my caloric intake and all that kind of stuff. So for me, that's what works. I'm continuing to, try to stay motivated to exercise. The pandemic really does have a lot of us kind of frustrated because we can't get out. And even if you can get out, if you live somewhere where outside is quote unquote open, you may not feel comfortable with going to gyms and things like that. Like where I live, we've pushed pause yet again on opening up the outside, which is really difficult because Thanksgiving is in a couple of days, and people have been looking forward to gathering with their loved ones, and in many places that's just not feasible to do that. So it becomes problematic, especially when it comes to exercise and diet, and it's so easy to just start snacking and all that kind of thing. So this is kind of my recommendation to you all. No matter what diet you decide that you're going to do, exercise and moderation are going to be key for you. Please get out of the habit of thinking that any supplement, any powder, any drink mix, any whatever is going to be the silver bullet for you. And you may need to play around with some of these things that are on the market to figure out what works for you. Not everything works for everybody. I know a lot of people who have had success with Golo. I'm not one of those people, although I don't think that 15 pounds is anything to sneeze at. It certainly wasn't the easiest thing in the world. And y'all know that I don't like taking pills. I don't know why I keep buying the stuff that has the pills. What else? Anyway, so my recommendation is start off on a day. Why wait till tomorrow? So, pick a day, whatever that day is going to be, but it needs to be reasonable. And you need to make that your drop dead day that you're going to start this. Put it in your calendar, circle it if you have an actual physical calendar, put your alarm in your phone, and that's it. No excuses, no equivocations. No matter what happens, that's the day that you stick to. The second thing is shopping for whatever it is that you're going to have in the house. One of the things that has been so problematic, especially now since more people are at home, has been kind of like this, not just the mindless snacking, but the readily available restaurant options, right? So DoorDash and Grubhub and Postmates and every other restaurant delivery has really seen an increase in traffic because people aren't cooking, and it's just more convenient to order out. First of all, that's hell of expensive. I don't know how much I've spent during this time of being quarantined, but it's ridiculous, because I'm buying for myself and for my daughter, and you add on delivery fees and all that kind of stuff. It's insane the amount of money that I've spent for convenience. I could have just cooked something, like seriously. So I just recommend that you get a head of lettuce, get some greens, lots of veggies, get some croutons for some crunch. If you don't want the calories of a crouton, get carrots or red cabbage or something. Mix up a salad, a tossed salad, enough for a couple of days. Put it in an airtight container or a baggie, and just allow that to be, your main meal or the majority of your meal. If you want to add in a protein, you can cook a couple of chicken breasts or thighs and, have that on the side. But the thing about it is to make it as interesting as possible. I went onto Amazon, and I'll show the picture somewhere around here if I can pull it up from my orders. But I went on Amazon a long time ago and bought these meal prep containers. And they were lifesavers because I would prep my meals on Sundays, and then I would just grab a container out the refrigerator Monday through Friday and throw it in my lunch bag, and that's what I would take to work, and that's what I would have for lunch. And so that prevented me from going out to the cafeteria, that prevented me from mindless eating. I made sure that I had my snacks, if I had, I don't know, some almonds, or sometimes I would have sunflower seeds, things like that. It just kept me motivated, and I didn't have to have the number one added expense, and then the temptation of going down to the cafeteria and seeing all the great stuff that I couldn't eat in my face. The other thing is, create a savings fund for yourself. I like to do stuff like that. So I would take what I thought that I was spending during the week, whether it was, $30 or whatever on lunch, and I would throw it in my savings, because to me, that was kind of a reward. Whatever was going to be in there at the end of the month, I could take it, I could spend it on something that I really like, or I could roll it over to apply it to something that was meaningful for me. But that was kind of a visual way for me to stay on track and know that day by day I was adding up my savings because I hadn't gone out to eat. Again, with the pandemic, things have just been, kind of like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to eat that. But I think that if you're able to change your outlook and your perception now, it'll make it so much easier when outside does open up, because you would have become disciplined in the hardest possible scenario, and everything else should be a cakewalk. Next week, I'll be talking about like some free programs and things that I like to do for my exercise, to try and get my exercise in. Hopefully, I've mentioned on here, sometimes I forget whether or not I've uploaded certain vlogs, but I adopted a dog in June who demands his 2-day a walk, child. So I'm walking him in the morning and the evening. And so that way I'm almost reasonably assured that I'm going to have at least an hour's worth of activity a day, because generally those walks are about 30 minutes each. But if you don't have that, there are things that you can do in your house, in your home, whether you look some things up on YouTube, or, whether or not you have a cable provider and you're able to tap into some of the free things that they have. That's all I want to talk about now, because I think that as we get into the meat of it, especially towards the holidays and things like that, some of the things that I'm feeling and, some of the things that I've been through and experienced, hopefully will be an encouragement for you. Don't make my mistakes, child. I will say that since we are coming up on the holiday season, and one of the things that's going to be very difficult is kind of like navigating this new normal for those of us who won't be gathering because we don't want to put our loved ones at risk. The isolation and the separation can be a bit much. And so, if you're not overeating, you're over drinking, which has a lot of empty calories. I'm not here to judge. I'm just not. But I will say that, even if you're drinking your lunch, you need to be cautious and careful about calories. And there are some skinnier options that you can choose that won't be as calorie laden and as heavy as most mixed drinks or spirits. So that's all I'm going to say today. I hope that y'all are sticking to your diet journey, and wherever you are in it, even if you've abandoned it or you gave up or you left for a while and came back, there's no time like the present, and I believe that you can do it. I think that we all can be a healthier version of ourselves, and we can just motivate each other along the way. I'm Felisa. I'm choking, child. Excuse me. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.